Change management is a lot like running a football club, aka soccer club, as change management is a critical governance process designed to protect assets, and a football club has many assets. For example, one major asset of a football club is the stadium where it plays on match days live. However, the stadium alone is not the only asset. There are many assets to a football club. And yes, that includes the football club itself, which is the most vital asset. And in this analogy, let's call this football club the CISSP CCSP Football Club, or CCFC for short. Come on, CCFC, we are CCFC. And our metaphoric football club, of course, has football owners, or directors, or board of directors, or CEO, whichever you prefer to call it these days. So, before we technically deep dive, let's just cover these important concepts to set the scene. We have the football club, the CCFC, which is an asset in itself, and perhaps the most important asset because it is the entire football club. And the football club may own its own football stadium, and this football stadium therefore would be another club asset. And the ultimate accountability of managing and securing the football club would be down to the club owners. Technical CISSP CCSP exam note. Think of the club owners as the Change Advisory Board, CAB. Bonus exam tip. You may also hear the Change Advisory Board being referred to as the Change Management Board. This is just terminology. Now, to expand the analogy to show change management, let's imagine the football club itself, aka the team, is not doing very well in the league. In fact, they just keep losing. The media and reporters are laughing at the club, and this is a major risk for the club owners and the club itself, as continuous losses are pushing the club down the league table, which puts the club at major risk of relegation from the league. And a club like CCFC cannot afford to get relegated. And so the Change Advisory Board has to address this risk, and you could say a change is needed. As whilst the owners are accountable, the manager or coach is responsible. And so the current manager or coach needs to be fired and a new manager or coach hired. But there are multiple risks to this approach, not just in terms of the club's potential relegation, but also the risk in changing the management without a secure change management process. And so this leads us to our first technical change management strategy. This is known as the blue-green deployment, which from a technical cybersecurity perspective means releasing software code within two identical environments, one active and one idle. Typically, the blue is usually the live production environment, whereas the green is the idle environment, and the blue usually switches to the green once the change is confirmed. So in this football analogy, the training ground of CCFC is where this change occurs, where the blue is the current live manager's environment, and the green will be the new manager's switchover environment, and the green will then go live. Again, these are two identical environments where only the manager is different. And having these two environments allows a non-interruptive switchover whilst the change, e.g. manager switch, occurs. And if there are any major issues, the owners can simply switch back from one system to the other. Now let's continue our football analogy and imagine that the owners have decided to change the manager, e.g. fire the current manager. And as previously mentioned, changing the manager is a risk alongside the other risk of the team being at the bottom of the table. So this is where change management is a really important way of managing that risk effectively. And so the Change Advisory Board, e.g. the owners, would need to understand the potential impact and risks associated with the change. And this is a very important point because the need to scrutinise what's being proposed technically in terms of risk before making a decision, e.g. the new manager. Similar to the prudent man rule, which is due care and due diligence, which was covered in a separate video linked here. But in the context of this video and analogy, the Change Advisory Board needs to consider things like what if the change does not go well? How do we roll the change back? And the key always is to document all lessons learned. Now, a new manager brings new ideas and new optimism to the club. And this leads us to our next technical change management concept, which is closely linked to change management but is known as configuration management, which relates to maintaining accurate and reliable information about configuration items. In this analogy, that would be the tactics, the players, and the plan to get the team out of the relegation zone. And as mentioned earlier, and as a general good practice, it should include the lessons learned, e.g., the failed tactics of the previous manager, so these lessons will not be repeated. And in cybersecurity, the technical system that retains all these configuration items, e.g., tactics, would be referred to as the configuration management database. And the information contained in such CMDB should be clearly communicated to all involved parties, e.g. the players, through policies, and enforcement should be mandatory, e.g. the players need to play to the tactics of the new manager and regime. And ultimately, if change management and configuration management is done correctly in tandem, then the club can quickly turn around its fortune and go straight up that table, and who knows, even win the title. And here's a bonus exam tip. You may hear the term regression testing, which is a form of testing to ensure the new code, e.g. the tactics, doesn't bring back old flaws, e.g. the old tactics. And the key takeaway is that change management is essential to strong cybersecurity governance. You can find another video on cybersecurity governance linked here on my channel if you're interested. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to like and subscribe if not already to please help support this new channel's growth. As I am a new content creator and this is a new YouTube channel, so every like and subscribe is the only way that I and YouTube know that you are enjoying this content. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you would like to see more content like this, it would be super fantastic if you could leave a like and subscribe to help support this channel's growth.